What's up? This is Tom Froming from TwinsDaily.com. Just want to quick congratulate Justin Morneau, who is entering the Twins Hall of Fame. That was announced just before Twins Fest this past weekend. He will become the 21st player to enter the Twins Hall of Fame. There have been other personalities, coaches, front office people, media members in the Twins Hall of Fame, but Morneau is only the 21st player entering the Twins Hall of Fame. Now, a lot of the reaction to that, obviously positive for Morneau, but a lot of the reaction was based on how disappointing it was that César Tovar once again did not make it into the Hall of Fame. So I started to think some more and look up some more things about Tovar. But first, let's talk about why he's not in the Twins Hall of Fame right now. You might think, well, this is a guy who ended his Twins tenure in the 70s. If he was so great, why wouldn't he be in there already? Well, the Twins Hall of Fame was established in 2000. So it's not like the Twins Hall of Fame has been around that long. And I think the further your legacy is from that date, 2000, the more difficult it is to get in. The main source of the votes are from members of the media. Now, some of those people are longtime, Minnesotans. They watch Tovar. They were covering Tovar, some of them. A lot of other ones are younger than I am, so they definitely never saw him play, and not from Minnesota. So they might not know anything about him, really. And then the other part of the voting population is current living members of the Twins Hall of Fame. Do you think Michael Kadire is going to vote for César Tovar, or is he going to be voting for guys he played with? Is Greg Gagne going to be voting for César Tovar or guys he played with? I think there's a lot of this voting process that is working against the guys who are from this era and aren't like your statue guys, your Harmon Killebrew, your Rod Carew, your Tony Leva. If you're not one of those marquee guys, it's really hard to sneak in. And on the flip side, we have Eddie Guardado in the Twins Hall of Fame. No offense, Eddie Guardado. No offense. I'm just saying. To be honest, another thing I believe is hurting Tovar is that, unfortunately, he passed away before the Twins Hall of Fame was even established. So let's get into a little bit more on why I think César Tovar deserves to be in the Twins Hall of Fame. As you can see here, I've got his Wikipedia page pulled up. Something that always comes to mind with Tovar that people always talk about is the fact that he became the second player in Major League history to play all 9 positions in a single game. That is certainly a fun and interesting stat about him, but it's almost so interesting that it overshadows everything else that he did the rest of his career, because that's like his tagline. Oh, Tovar, yeah, the guy who played all 9 positions, Mr. Versatility. Certainly that speaks to how good he was defensively and how good of an athlete he was, but so much more than that. And here we are on Tovar's baseball reference page. Something I want to point out specifically, he received MVP votes 5 seasons in a row. That's something that not a lot of even Twins Hall of there are guys in the Twins Hall of Fame that can't say that. But I also want to point out a few things. One, he led the league in 1971 in hits and scored 120 runs in 1970. We're going to talk about those 2 items in particular here. Jumping over to the Minnesota Twins leaderboard all time, these are the single season leaders in runs scored. That is insane amount of runs in that run scoring environment at the time. Let's jump over to the 1970 Twins. There you can see Tovar. He had 120 runs scored. That breaks down to Tovar scoring 16.1% of the team's runs. Kind of an odd stat to look at, I know. But if we take a look at the 2019 Twins, Jorge Polanco led the team with 107 runs. Well, so if we break down the math, Polanco only scored 11.4% of the Twins' runs. If we put Tovar's percentage onto this past season's Twins, you have a guy scoring 151 runs. So that's my attempt to sort of give you an idea of the run scoring environment. So here we are back on the single season Twins records. We'll sort this out by hits, and not a whole lot of guys. You see a good number of 200 hit seasons, 13 in total, but you're seeing a lot of repeat names. And there are 5 guys in Twins history who've recorded a 200 hit season for the team. It's Rod Carew, Kirby Puckett, Paul Molitor, and Tony Oliva. And the 5th guy is César Tovar, who can't even get into the Twins Hall of Fame. And it wasn't like that was an out of the ordinary season for him, which is going to be illustrated in this grouping. Let's take a look at, you can see here I have from Fangraphs, This is a range from 1967 to 1972. This was Tovar's prime. And we're going to look at that. That was his 6-year prime. I'm going to show you a couple of numbers here that should illustrate just how amazing this guy was for that time. Look at this. This is the hits over that 6-year time frame. And you see Tovar had the 5th most hits of anybody in baseball during that time. And look at the guys in front of him. Pete Rose, Lou Brock, Matty Alou, and Billy Williams. Pretty nice company. So if we sort out runs, again, in the same time period of 67 to 72, Tovar comes out looking even better. He's number 4 on this list, behind Brock, Rose, and Billy Williams. That is some excellent company. So Tovar did have some power, especially when you compare it to that time frame, that time period. But he was the table setter. He was the guy at the top of the order, getting on base. Of course, there were some good hitters behind him. That's those statue guys we mentioned earlier, knocking them in. But he was the guy getting on, stealing bases. He's also ranks extremely high in stolen bases. Again, the defensive versatility. And yeah, you put him in those terms of getting on base, scoring runs, stealing bases. That's another one where he really shines. In this same time period, that 6-year prime we talked about, he ranks 6th in stolen bases. And back at Fangraphs here, I'm going to unsplit the season. So we're just taking in the whole account of all Minnesota Twins history. So from 1961 forward. And Tovar is one of, only 17 players who has 1,000 games played for the Twins as well. So I think you have sort of the cumulative aspect, you have the single season aspect, you have the memorable time period aspect. Tovar was a major contributor on both the 69 and 70 Twins, who were the AL West champions. You have how good he was in his prime compared to the rest of the players in that era. It all's adding up. It's very easy to see with what the case for César Tovar should be for the Twins Hall of Fame. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed that, or subscribe if you want some more Twins content here on YouTube. I sincerely hope that this helps César Tovar's case to get in the Twins Hall of Fame. Hopefully this reaches some of the voters, but if nothing else, I hope you enjoyed it and learned some more about Tovar and kind of the guy he was for the Twins in that era. So again, this has been Tom Froming from TwinsDaily.com. Thanks for checking this out. We'll talk again soon.